Hi, this is Laurah Lee Myotherapy, again certified Bonnie Pruden Myotherapist, and this is part 3 of a series to teach you and introduce you to myotherapy. Now I went over the introduction, basically what myo and therapy means, and then I went through the history, and now I'm going to just walk you through what it would look like if you came in to see a myotherapist. So when you come in to a myotherapist, what we do is we take a history and we find out where your trigger points are, and then we work on you physically. So the first session's an hour and a half approximately. It's clothes on, and you can do myotherapy anywhere really, but you can have a nice ambiance behind you, but basically it's designed to be able to do anywhere at any time. So there's no special things like oils or anything that's used. So we actually use our elbows, our knuckles, and our thumbs. And what we're doing is when we look for the trigger point and we find one, there's a pattern that you start out with. It's called quick fix, just to get people out of the acute phase. And then there's basic lines, which really gets deep to the root of the problem by where these trigger points are and getting rid of them and re-educating the muscle. So that takes a more of extensive 3 to 6 sessions, hour sessions, 2 hour, it just depends on the patient and how much pain they're in, etc. And then there's clean out lines, which is you learn as a person who's actually does myotherapy. So you learn how to find, so you can teach the people on how to take care of themselves. So that's where the therapist comes in to figure that stuff out. We are actually playing detective on people's bodies. Now I've been doing myotherapy for like 24 years. I still love it. I have a huge passion for it. I love being able to help people help themselves, and this is a great tool to do that with. So back to our thumbs and our knuckles and our elbows, and we do use tools, and I'll show you that in later videos, but the idea is we're going to go in slow. It's called ischemic compression, and we're going to find the trigger point. Now muscles come in layers, and if a trigger point's on the top layer, it's not going to take too much pressure before you feel it. So if it's on a lower layer, it's going to take more pressure, and if it's on a deeper layer, it's going to take even more pressure. So you're going to let me know, or the therapist know, they're going to press in slow enough to engage your brain and let the therapist know when it's a 2. Because 1 is just pressure, 2 is a sensation, and that's what we're looking for, to get rid of the trigger point, but we got to get on top of it. So what the sensation can feel like, it can feel sharp, it can feel hot, it can feel like really good, and like hurt so good, and it can feel like dropping a pebble in water and how it rings out. So it's a sensation. And then 3 would be pain. So you go, oh, that hurts, 3, and then the therapist will back off, and she backs off or he backs off too much, then you say 1, and then you press until we find a 2. Then the first session, your brain and your body's getting used to the whole idea. So take it easy on yourself is what we recommend. And then also, just like if you went to the gym to do a workout, you don't want to go all bust out because you'll be really sore the next day. The same kind of thing with myotherapy. So when we get on that trigger point, we hold it for 7 seconds, and then we release slowly, and then we move on to the next trigger point. And we average about 75 trigger points in each session. Now as we're working on the person, there's a whole batch of trigger points here, and there's hardly none over here. We put together a little puzzle on what's in front of us. We give the person basic lines basically to find that out, and then we give them passive stretches with a sheet of paper, highlight it out, and then also what to expect after the session, because you're relaxed and you've been worked on and all that, so you don't have to remember everything that you're taught. So that's the first session. Then you go home, and 4 times a day, 4 times each, you do these passive stretches. They only need to take a couple minutes to do them. If it's taking much longer than that, there's a learning curve, but if it's taking more than like 5 or 10 minutes, then you're holding them. You don't want to hold these exercises. It's range of motion. Like for an example, for my neck, I would just be doing this. And wherever my neck turned to, that's where I would stop. I would not force it or anything. And then maybe ear to shoulder, depending on the exercise. But you can see these are range of motion exercises. My shoulders up, my shoulders down. Here's a backstroke. That's more of an advanced exercise, but that's one. If you can do that, then we'll go ahead and give that to you. If you can't, we will actually give you passive stretches that you're able to do. Because right now, if you can remember this, when you're young, you tell your muscles what to do. When you get older, your muscles tell you what to do. And hopefully you have a good relationship. But if you don't have a good relationship, that's okay. Because your muscles are very forgiving. And if you start nurturing them and working with them, they will set you straight and get you back to where you need to go, so you can go play and have fun and live on this awesome planet that we find ourselves to experience so many things and so many people. Anyway, so that's just a little bit of an explanation of the first session for myotherapy. So I'll see you in the next video. Love life, and life will love you back. Bye-bye for now.